Hello everyone, welcome to CSE Core Concepts in the series of computer networks. In this video, we are going to discuss about a very important aspect of the network layer, that is an internet protocol, popularly known as IP. Generally, we speak about TCP/IP, but in fact, TCP and IP are two separate protocols. So, the Internet Protocol IP is a protocol for the network layer, and TCP is a protocol of the transport layer. So let us see what is Internet Protocol. So basically you can consider it as a glue or a gum that holds the whole internet together in the network layer protocol. So what happens in this protocol is that you have the communication. Let's say if I want to communicate in the internet, it works something like that. The transport layer, okay, you come from the application layer if you are considering from there. So the transport layer takes data streams, it takes the data and breaks it into so that it can send as IP packets. Now this IP packets can be up to 64 KB each, but in practice they are not very much bigger. They cannot be more than 1500 bytes so that they fit in an Ethernet frame, that is in a local area network. Now there are IP routers, they will forward each packet through the internet along a path from one router to the next and until you reach the destination. Now at the destination end, the network layer hands this data to the transport layer, which will give to its receiving process. So when all the pieces finally go to the destination machine, they are reassembled, okay, by the network layer into original data, and this data is then given to the transport layer. So IP version 4, there are two versions of IP. Majorly we will be talking about here IP version 4. So it contains a header part and a body or a payload part. The header has two parts. So we will see one figure about the headers first of all. So this is a header, right? So these are for a IP packet. So these are the different fields of the header. So we will see what are the fields, what does they stand for. So header has a 20 byte fixed part and a variable part. Okay, one is fixed, that has to be there, and later part is the optional. So altogether it is 32 bit. So the bits are transmitted from left to right and top to bottom. So the first bit, let us see, the first bit is the version, then IHL, differentiated services, total length, we will go from left to right and from top to bottom. Okay. So there is identification, then we can see two small fields DF and MF, fragment offset. So let us see one by one what are these fields stand for. So the version field keeps a track of which protocol the datagram belongs to, IP version 4 or IP version 6. It is the next version of Internet Protocol. The next field is the IHL, that is the header field. Since it is not constant, so we will tell it how long it is in 32-bit words. Because I told you the fixed part is 20 byte, but rest is the variable length, that is the optional part. So now this variable length can vary, right? So in total, what is the total size that has to be written in the IHL field? So the minimum value here is 5 and the maximum value for a 4-bit field is 15 because 1111 means your 15. Next field is the differentiated services, which will tell us the different class of services. There are various classes of services, class A, class B, like that. So which class of service you are using? The total length is the total length of the header as well as the data. Every IP datagram will contain a header part and a data, right? So what is the total size of that packet? So the maximum length is here can be 65,535 bytes. Then comes your identification field. See, every IP packet has to be there has to be an identification to determine which packet it belongs to because multiple packets are flowing. Now one data has been broken down into smaller packets. So one packet belongs to which fragment, that has to be known, right? So for a particular data, if there are 10 packets, so all 10 will have the same identification field, right? So that you can know that suppose packet 1, 2, 3, 4 has started data. Okay, data 1, 2, 3, 4 has started. Now, first data 1 has 10 packets. So, all 10 packets will have a common identification number to understand that this belongs to data 1. Then, for data 2, all packets will have a common identification, which is an indication it belongs to data 2, right? Then we have seen the two smaller fields, if you remember this DF and MF. So they are 1 bit flag bits. Okay, that is DF means don't fragment. Means it will tell the router not to fragment the packet further. And MF means more fragments. That means all fragments except the last one will have this bit set. Means it is an indication that more fragments are coming. Then there is a fragment offset that tells where the current packet in this fragment belongs to, right? So like every packet has 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. So where does it belong to? It is the third one, it is the fifth one, which is the position of the packet. Then comes a field which is called as TTL, that is time to leave. It is a counter field which gives a packet lifetime. Okay, that means how much time, every time we have discussed, right? That every frame has a timer, every packet has a timer. After a certain time, the packet will expire, and if acknowledgement has not been sent, it will resend the packet. We have been talking about this theory for long. So, this is the field where you have the timer set, that is time to leave. So it is generally given in seconds, allowing a maximum time of 255 seconds. So as soon as the packet is released, the counter goes in the negative direction, and when it hits 0, the packet is discarded and a warning packet is sent to the source that the packet has been discarded. Then comes the protocol field. So we have the TCP or UDP. More about this TCP and UDP protocol we will discuss about in our transport layer. But in this packet, in this header, it will specify which type of protocol it is using. So since then comes a checksum. So about this checksum we have discussed in detail in the error detection and correction technique. So checksum is basically a field which is used to cross evaluate that whether your data has been got corrupted in the transmission or not, right? So there is a checksum value whether the packet is correct or not, or if some data has been damaged or changed. Then, of course, the two important fields, that is the source address and the destination address. So, the source address and the destination are the IP addresses of the source and the destination. And finally, the option field, which is of you can have varying. So, you can write down some optional data such as what type of security standard you are using, what type of routing you require, etc. Any other specifications. So we will talk about the IP version 4 here, which is a 32-bit address. So every host and the router on the internet has an IP address. Everybody on the host, every host on the router has an internet address, right? So IP refers to the network interface. So if a host, if my computer belongs to two different networks, I will have two different IP addresses. So IP addresses are basically hierarchical in nature, right? So each 32-bit address is comprised of a variable length network portion in the top bits and a host portion in the bottom bit. So network portion will have the same. If I belong to network A and network A has 10 hosts, right? So all of their network portion will be same, only the host portion is changing. So the network corresponds to a contiguous block of IP address, and this is called as the prefix. So IP addresses are written in the dotted decimal notation. Now you can think about IP and network address if you want to differentiate. Let me give you a simple example. If you have a building, okay, that building is a network and each individual house in the building is a host. So the building name, if I am staying in flat number 101 or 102, the building name will be same for both of us, 101 and 102, only the house number will change. So that building name is the network address and the house number is your host address. Okay. So these prefixes, that is the network address, is given by the giving the lowest IP address in the block and the size of the block. Okay. So how many devices you can allow. So prefixes are essential for routing by allowing device to determine if an IP address is on the same network or need to be sent anywhere. So suppose if in your colony there are 10 buildings A to J, let's say, and if somebody comes and he talks about A, okay, he does not know where is building number B, C, and D. So if he wants to go to building C, he will simply ask you where is C. Okay, so you are going to just route them. The security will just tell him that go there. Understood? So that is why these prefixes are necessary. What is prefix? That is the building number is necessary. So an IP address is divided into a network part and a host part. So you have two parts of the IP address, that is the network part and the host part. So the network ID, I told you, you can consider as the street name or your building name, and the host ID is the house number on that street, right? And you have a subnet mask which is used to determine which part of the IP address is the network ID and which is the host ID. We will talk about subnet mask. So there are certain subnet masks which are predefined, and the prefixes are written in a form which is called as classless interdomain routing, that is called as CIDR notation, like it is written as /24. So now if I talk about /24, what does it means is that the total IP address length is 32 bits. So if I am subtracting 32 minus 24, I will get 8. So if it is always in a power of 2. So if I do 2 raised to the power 8, so I will get 256 possible addresses are there. Okay, so if your network has, this is the prefix 24. Now if it is 26, so what will be the value? 32 minus 26, that is your value. Okay, 6 you will get, and 2 raised to the power 6. So that many possible addresses are. So that many addresses are there in the network. So you can see this is, let us say, your network. So first the total size is 32 bits and the prefix length is L bits, and whatever, how many hosts will be there, it is 32 minus L, and this is your subnet mask. So more about subnet mask and subnets we will discuss in my next video. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe to CSE Core Concepts. Thank you.